This is Lord Potato, and this is What If Asta Was an Assassin? Part, well, 1. Or, not part, it's mostly wherever it's in a certain part, okay? I was thinking of doing this as a movie, but I don't think I have enough time. So, let me mention something. If I don't get into a certain part where I want to be at, it will be into different parts. If I get into the part, but it's very short, I'm going to just say one shot. And if it's so long and actually I manage to finish the whole thing, it will be a movie. So yeah, I really don't do many movies or one shots. Well, I mean, I used to do a lot of one shots just because people like to piss me off with a bunch of what ifs that I don't want to do. So yeah, so whatever. This is a what if that I thought of. Okay, so no one actually asked about it. So yeah, there's a couple of what if that well, one friend asked me to do, and a couple other people that I kind of like do. Well, I like the idea. I just haven't really done it. Some of them are Naruto what if, some of them are actually, I think Baruto? Was it Baruto or Luffy? I can't remember. It was one of those two. But other than that, let me begin into this what if and let me shut the fuck up. I should also mention that I am hearing music in one of my ears. Of course, in the other ear I can hear a lot better, but in this one I can't. So I'm just trying this out so I can actually think much better than actually, well, just hear my own voice and being an idiot half the damn time. So let me begin into this what if. So this is called What If Asta Was an Assassin? Now, no, there's no really a special whatever K subscribers or anything. I know I hit 3K. I almost said 300. No, I did hit 3K. I just have the special what if for doing it. Will come out probably on Sunday. I want to say Sunday. I just want to catch up or rewatch the kind of animation that I want to kind of do the anime about or whatever, the special on. But not the point. I haven't really watched it in a while. It's the last time I watched the anime was, or animation or whatever you like to call it, about, I want to say 4-ish years. I don't remember, but yeah. So I'm just saying, I probably forgot a lot of things, but yeah. But not the point. If I think I did show the what's it called special K where it was when I hit the 3K whatever. Yeah. But not the point. Let me go into this what if and let me shut the fuck up. But yeah. So we go into okay, I'm just gonna take the music out of my ear and just talk like this, okay? It kind of distracted me for a little bit. But let me go into this what if. So, we go into, well, a world where there's only magic. Magic, nobles, well, the system of the hierarchy and the lower anarchy, or whatever the hell you like to call it. The king, the wizard king, the nobles, royalty, whatever bullshit. Of course, and there's commoners, peasants, and whatever. Of course, we go into the Clover Kingdom about a trial happening. Now, you see here, I should mention one thing. Asta has been, well, in the Black Bulls for a while, and of course, he has kind of tried to get along with everyone else. Now, of course, Asta in this one isn't that much dense, and of course, he knows a little bit about love. So, of course, he did try to kind of like date with Noelle. Of course, Noelle seems to not care that much because she's still Sumeri or whatever. But yeah. Of course, this is where, well, we go into trial about the, what's it called, elf and demon arc or whatever, well, after it. And of course, Kira is there kind of looking at Asta. Now, Nero, she disappeared after, well, Asta was there. Asta was confused, but quite annoyed. Because, well, he didn't really want to go here, but Nero kind of proceeded to kind of bother him to go to the trial. Now, of course, Asta isn't dumb in this one, but he has to kind of act a little bit. Now, of course, this is where Asta, he tries to explain to the kind of judge about what really happened, but not really talk about the devil so much because he isn't that dumb. And, of course, before he can even say anything, he couldn't really talk because Kira didn't want to hear it and, of course, decided to put him in jail. Now, Asta has been in prison for 2 weeks. Yeah. Now, why am I mentioning why he was there for 2 weeks? Well, it'll be important. Asta has been in prison for 2 weeks. Now, Kira didn't want to really hear this because, well, first they gotta wait for the fucking Wizard King, because the Wizard King kind of asked for a temporary kind of like just put him in jail, something like that. And then he will mention what he will need Asta to do. Of course, Kira had to follow that stupid thing. But yeah, of course, this is where, well, everyone else, mostly everyone like the Black Bulls, are kind of worried. Of course, Yami wants to just break out Asta from prison. But of course, pretty much Yami is being distracted by, well, Julius and doing some missions. Because Julius already knew what Yami wanted to do. But he doesn't want to, like, put the other Black Bulls into total chaos with trying to get Asta from jail. But yeah. Asta has been in jail for 2 weeks. Now I should mention one thing. Asta barely gets some food, and of course, he doesn't have his grimoire. He doesn't have his 5-leaf grimoire. This is where, well, he is kind of like looking outside, because there is like a little window full of bars and all that, and what's it called, looking outside, because he is in prison and all that. And this is where, well, he's looking out, and he sees an eagle just flying, whatever, okay? I'm not trying to make the eagle sound. I was thinking about it, but then I just said, no, fuck it. But of course, this is where, well, that eagle is flying around, and this is where Asta says, I wonder if they got the message. Asta said quietly. This is where Asta then turns around and look at his cell. Mostly the prison bars that are right in front of him. Now, there's 2 guards in another place, there's 2 doors. Well, from the cell that Asta's in, there's a cell. And of course, out from the cell, if he gets out the cell, there's a door going like towards the right of him. And of course, this door is like wooden and all that. And of course, it has like a bunch of chains and other things. That's the door to get out. Everywhere else, it looks to be having more cells. But of course, Asta sees it. Of course, is where, well, he knows that there's 2 guards behind there. Those 2 doors. Of course, playing poker, but yeah, because they're bored. They didn't really want to deal with Asta. But yeah. It's where Asta is saying, what annoying. I should have known the nobles were just going to be so corrupted. I wonder if the others managed to get the message. Now, we go fast forward into the Black Bulls. The Black Bulls are kind of worried and of course sick in the fact that, well, Asta's in jail. Of course, some of them aren't that worried. Unlike, they know about Noel and Asta been like getting along and all that. But they kind of see Noel not that worried, which they're confused about. Of course, they don't mind that, but yeah. Now, of course, Asta doesn't think of Noel or the others. No, he's thinking of something else. Well, of course, well, Lux says, we should break him out. We should just say screw and break him out. Magna says, agree. This is where, well, Ghost says, I would, but I don't want to put Mary in danger. That's where Vanessa says, we shouldn't. The fact that if we do, the whole freaking kingdom will get angry at us and try to put us in jail. This is where, well, mostly Fenrir says that, and of course Fenrir says, well, mostly Vanessa says, we should, but there's a good chance we might. What Fenrir said. Fenrir said, yeah. This is where, well, Charmy says, we should break him out, because he hasn't eaten in a while. A good nutrition food, he needs it. This is where all of them kind of agrees and all that. Well, mostly in Charmy's logic, but yeah. Of course, it worked. Well, Gray is kind of nervous. I think we should save Asta. Noel seems to be quiet a little bit. This is where, well, everyone else is kind of arguing, thinking of like breaking him out, not breaking him out. This is where Zora is there, kind of. If we break him out, you realize the kingdom will go after us. This is where, well, Magna says, and who the hell do I look like I give a shit about the kingdom? This is what, well, Lux says, yeah, we're gonna break him out because he's our friend. Zora says, you idiots are really annoying. So everyone's kind of fighting, arguing, kind of thinking of breaking out Asta. We go into the Golden Dawn. This is where Mimosa is kind of holding on to someone's arm. This is where the other person is smiling. This is where, well, Klaus seems to be kind of, well, doing something else. Mostly kind of wondering how to get Asta out of prison. The other 2 doesn't seem to be bothered about Asta being in prison. This is where Klaus says, you know, why are you 2 so happy? You realize, you know, your brother's been in prison. And Mimosa, Aren't you kind of saddened? This is where, well, says, he be fine. He's strong, right? He says it in such a creepy grin. And of course, this is where, well, Charles seems so weirded out with both of them kind of being smiling. This is where Klaus ignores both of them and walks away. This is where, well, I should mention one thing. Has already been discovered as being the Prince of the Spade Kingdom, like 2 weeks, well, mostly a week after what's it called, Asta was put in jail. Well, mostly, yeah, since he was put in there 2 weeks. Well, mostly before Asta was put into 2 weeks of jail and all that. Before that, they actually found out that Yuno's a prince thanks to someone from the Spade Kingdom kind of notifying them. Of course, after finding out that, they wanted to kind of stop the trial between mostly Asta and the whole demon thing, because they can see that Asta's devil might be the only thing that might help them fight against the demons and Spade. But of course, that whole trial still happened, put Asta in jail for a second. Of course, this is where, well, has now been discovered as a prince, so he's royalty for the Spade Kingdom, and still royalty in the, Clover Kingdom. Now, of course, we go into, well, some people around a table, and seems to be that table has some kind of symbol, but over that symbol seems to be a paper that someone kind of grabbed and started reading it. This person has, well, a cloak. Well, not a cloak. He's wearing clothes that seem to have mostly a hood over his face, over his head, kind of covering up his face thanks to the shadows. And besides, this room seems to be really unlit. It seems to be really dark. And of course, everyone else is doing the same, having something similar over their face or something. Some of them has masks. Some of them has a mask face, almost a face mask. And yeah, and others seems to just be having them, be hide under the hood. This is where, well, the person seems to be reading this. And of course, then he looks at everyone and starts speaking. This is where, well, he says, well, it seems that Revolution Army should be coming soon. In about a week, or probably 3 days top maximum. I would like to send him a message. But we should kind of move out. We shouldn't waste time in sending messages. We don't know if he's going to be executed or not. All of them understand. Everyone nodded. Say aye aye, sir. Or mostly they all nodded. And some of them saluted, and this is where they all walked away. This is where the person grabbed the paper and is right now clutching it. That's where he says, damn, those stupid fucking nobles. Out of all the times, you are trying to kill one of my elites. This is what, well, we go into dark. We now fast forward into 3 days. So many civilians that were hurt from the elf and kind of, no nobles helping them, were actually helped by people with cloaks. People helped them understand that they must be rebel against the nobles. So many civilians say but they couldn't until, well, these people say that they could. With weapon and technology and stuff, they will be able to, well, rebel against nobles, rebel against this kingdom, be able to take out this kingdom and, well, make sure that no one will ever suffer again from the nobles' hands. This is where so many people got expired from the wars. They started rising up, children, families that kind of lost a lot of people during the elf art. Mostly some people like wife who lost like children and husbands that lost, well, their wife and has their children, kids that are orphans and became, well, part of the revolution thanks to the fact that they lost, well, their family, their parents, their loved ones, and other things. So many people rebel, started making an army in less than 3 days. All of them grabbed their pitchforks, swords that they managed to borrow from these people, weapons that they don't even know how to use, but it looked like to be flintlocks and muskets. But of course, all of them with low magic, grab all these type of weapons, and even though they were not prepared, they all had the spirit of a revolution. With that happening in mind, we go into 3 days. Of course, some of the what's called buildings in the Clover King is being fixed. This is where, well, they're like, we managed to fix all of this. What one person said, well, mostly being a magic knight. But of course, he seems to be from, well, the Crimson Lions. This is where he talks to a Silver Eagle one. This is where Silver Eagle says, yeah, do you remember that one double kid or whatever? This is where the Crimson Lion says, yeah, I can't really forget. He was so annoying, screaming out loud and other things bursting out. Luckily, we put him into jail. He must have been the reason why we got attacked anyway, being, well, possessed by a devil and all that. He should be executed in about, a week. Well, mostly after 2 days. Since this is the 3rd day, mostly Wednesday, right? Yeah, executed on Friday. I see. Well, what are the others? Where did the other 2 happen? This is where, well, one was, what's it called? Well, someone from the Purple Orcas was kind of walking next to one of the Blue Aqua. This is where Aqua Deer Multi. This is where, well, the Purple Orca says, seriously? I can't believe we finished already. Thank God. This kingdom's finally rebuilt. I hope no other attack happened. This is where Blue Aqua do says, yeah, exactly. I'm happy that this kingdom finally been rebuilt pretty fast in only less than a month. But what's it called? You know how the devil possessed boy is going to be executed in 2 days? I can't wait to watch that. He was someone that conspired or whatever. He might have felt guilty or whatever at the very end and decided to help the Magic Knights to fight against what's called elves or whatever the hell they were. Yeah, so, well, can't wait to get popcorn or whatever to see the execution. The Purple Orca said. This is where, well, the Blue Orca said, yeah, exactly right. This is where, before they start walking away, 2 figures appear behind them. This is where one figure stabbed this person, one of the Blue Orcas, in the head. This is where the Purple Orca turns around and tries to use his magic, but this is where he gets his neck cut in such a high speed. This is where, well, the Purple Orca and the Blue deer kind of die in an instant. The Blue Aqua deer. This is where the 2 figures nodded. They finally got information and when this execution should happen. This is where, well, they go and disappear and go warn their leader about it. This is where the leader gets it and says, then, instead of moving out in 3 days, we'll move out on the 4th day. Now, let's go. This is where so many civilians are right now just walking towards the Clover Kingdom. This is where, well, when they get to the Clover Kingdom, and like the next day, because it did take a while, this is where, well, the Clover Kingdom has risen up. Some people are just waking up right now. But of course, they hear an explosion around the kingdom. The kingdom is right now being attacked again. And this is where so many people are wiping their eyes. This is where captains were kind of like told by this. And of course, well, the Black Bulls were kind of like told about this also. And this is where like they're all rushing towards the kingdom fast enough with their brooms and all that. It's where, well, Yuno's confused. Of course, he's with Mimosa and Noel when the Black Bulls kind of realize. It's where, well, they're confused why Noel is with the Golden Dawn, especially with the boy named Yuno, Asta's brother or whatever. It's where, well, they're getting to the kingdom, and of course they see a revolution happening with the civilians and people that are cloaked right now rushing through and stabbing through what's it called, windows. Mostly just breaking through the windows and stabbing civilians right in the neck, but yeah. But of course, mostly nobles, but yeah, civilian nobles or whatever. That's where, well, so many things are happening, and of course Magic Knights are trying to stop these civilians, these commoners and peasants from fighting back. But of course, when they use their magic, a bullet flies past them, or actually at them, and hit them right in the head, headshot from some civilians. They were trained for only 2 days, but they're all finally mastered in how to use some of these weapons. Of course, they all realize one thing. They're not using magic. None of the commoners or peasants are using magic. Instead of using that, they're actually using these technology weapons. They don't even know what it is, but realize they can't sense or see the bullets unless they're not trained with their eyes that well. Yami can easily just see it and just cut someone through the bullets. This is what he says. Very interesting. What are they? This is where, well, everyone heard about 4 explosions from different parts of the kingdom. This is where one part of the kingdom happened, and this is where one person was free from a prison. This is where 2 people, not 2 people, 3 people were right now standing in front of this person named Asta. This is where, well, they say, hello there, Lieutenant Asta. This is where they all kind of kneel down. Asta says, took a little bit longer than I thought, but then again, I guess preparation must be needed half the time. This is where all of them nodded. This is where, well, one of them pulls out, well, mostly a backpack, mostly a pouch full of clothing and even weapons. This is where, well, he said, here you go, Lieutenant Asta, also known as the Sober Darkness Assassin. This is where Asta says, so it seems that the captain, or mostly the leader, has always seen me as a lieutenant. Well, thank you. He grabs the pouch and starts changing off out of his old clothes and ripping off the black wool cloak. This is where, well, some of the people who actually heard this explosion, mostly Magic Knights, were actually seeing Asta in a giant hole, and some people. This is where they say stop. This is where they get actually hit by these tiny arrows and stabbed through their necks. This is where they die. Asta says, that's pretty good, Archer. You've been doing pretty good. He starts changing, and of course, Asta just changes. He doesn't really care if they're right there or not, because, well, they're right now just looking out. They're not really looking at Asta, because that's kind of weird as hell. That's where Asta changes into kind of looking like, well, what's it called? He kind of looks like his drip of an assassin clothes are basically what Azio kind of wears most of the time. This is where, well, he's wearing a hat, and of course, this is where he has a sword right next to him. It looks to be like a Reaper sword. This is where he has another sword right to his, like, okay, in his right side he has a Reaper sword, well, mostly to the left side, okay, like a Reaper, or whatever it's called, Reaper or something. It's a like light, as a light thin sword and all that. That has like this weird guard, and of course, into the right of him, he has like a katana. But this katana has both blades sharp, both sides sharp. It doesn't just have one side sharp and all that. And this one doesn't even have a guard. It kind of just has the handle. That's all. And this one where, well, he kind of has a, well, 2 flintlocks. These 2 black and silver flintlocks into, well, into what's it called? His 2, like, right next to him, mostly in the side of his, like, stomach and all that. Like, not his shoulder, I was, yeah, there are these waist and all that, like, the side of him. This is where, well, he has them in the different sides, and of course, this is where, well, he has a, oh, what's it called? A musket behind him. This black musket. This is where, well, Asta says, then let's start the revolution, Asta has said. This is where the 3 of them nodded, these 3 assassins. This is where, well, one was actually used, well, not used to be. He was the new lieutenant for what's called the Assassin's Creed, well, group and all that. But Asta was the original, but of course, this is where the new one kind of bowed down. Right now, he is respecting Asta a lot, even though Asta's a little bit younger than this person, because this person seems to be like 18 to 19. Asta's 15, but a little bit almost 16, but yeah. They all respect him. He might be one of the youngest assassins ever to become the lieutenant of the Assassin's Creed. This is where, well, all of them kind of nodded, and this is where, well, they all start kind of like jumping out the giant hole. This is where Asta, he did also put on his what's called Assassin's Creed blades, mostly his hidden blades, but his hidden blades seem to be modified a little bit. This is where he looks at his weapons, well, mostly hidden blades, and sees that they have a little bit things new onto them. He kind of smiles and says, well, I hope I get to see you. This is where Asta just says that, and of course, this is where Asta jumps off. He had someone in mind when he actually said that. This is where he jumps off, doing what's it called, the fate, well, mostly the jump of fate, and he just jumps down, and of course, he does put like a T-pose, and of course, he lands into hay. This is where, well, he kind of gets up and says, well, let's go. This is where Asta and the others start kind of running and jumping on the buildings. Start just running on top of the buildings and just running towards the commotion. Of course, Asta sees some, what's it called, nobles trying to leave. And of course, Asta jumps down and stabs them right in the head. Stabbing one in the neck and then stabbing, well, another one in what's it called, the heart. That's where, well, the assassin sees Asta's moves. Now, of course, Asta seems to be like a gentle attacker, like this a gentle stream and all that. But he could be a deadly tornado. Yes, Asta's moves can be gentle in some points, but in other points he can be a murderous beast. But yes, of course, where all assassins has two people in mind. Two people in specifically mind. Because Asta sent this letter about two people that should be killed on sight. And that is Kira Timoki, or whatever the hell his last name is, and the Clover King. If the Clover King and Kira are dead, then there will be no problems. This is where, of course, all assassins are right now having a mind and finding Kira and also, well, the kind of Clover King. Now, of course, they all know where the Clover King is at because, well, fucking Asta kind of point that out because he's all the way up. It's not that hard. Kira might be a little bit difficult. Or not. He might be also next to the Clover King. So, of course, multiple assassins, like, they jump through a kind of hall full of nobles that are right now protected by some magic knights. And, of course, well, mostly just the normal guard knights and all that. That are right now protecting a bunch of nobles that are in this one building and all that. And, of course, some of the nobles say, "What are you knights doing here? You should be protecting the kingdom." Well, not kingdom. They say, "What are you people doing? Where's the other magic knights? We need help from these people." It seems that like they killed the nobles and all that. But we should be protecting more the king and the others. Where's the wizard king? This is where some of the nobles are complaining and all that. And this is where the knights are trying to calm down. Well, mostly a bunch of the nobles and all that, until the windows shatter and multiple assassins jump through. This is where assassins start stabbing the knights and rushing towards the different nobles. Just start stabbing them in the eye. Right now, just cutting their necks off, cutting their heads off. This is where some of them just slice using their sword to slice some people's heads into two. Some people are using axes and bash their flat side of their axe into some noble heads. Right now, killing the nobles. And also where, Asta seems to be just looking around. He's right now on a building. And of course, an eagle flies past him. This is where, Asta uses the eagle's eyes to find the location of Kira. This is where, all the assassins are right now keeping an eye on, anyone who would dare to try to attack Asta. Because Asta, he isn't just any assassin. He is the lieutenant assassin, yes. He's one of the strongest assassins ever. He's like second to first, mostly. But of course, he is, very skilled in a bunch of things of assassin techniques. He's a very skilled person, even though he's pretty young. But of course, they all just see what Asta's doing. This is where, Asta managed to connect with the eye of the eagle. Right now, looking through and trying to find where Kira and maybe the Clover King will be at. This is where he spotted where the Clover King will be at. But now he's looking for Kira. Right now, just spotting anything. He spots Yuno, and Yuno is right now just blasting a bunch of civilians away, mostly peasants and commoners. And of course, this is where Asta says, "I see Yuno. Very interesting. I see Noel and Mozart there." That's where they're blushing, and I'm thinking, yeah, I should have known. This is where, Asta knows that, he has been dating Noel for a while. He kind of didn't really make any moves because he doesn't know how Noel's comfortable is. But realize one thing. His dating thing, with Noel might have just fucking broken after, 3 weeks and all that. Or more than that, because, it doesn't really know how long has Noel been liking not him. That's where, Asta kind of also sees Mimosa, but he also knew that what's it called? She liked him, but really I think for most times it kind of like Of course, Asta doesn't seem to be heartbroken for this. He doesn't seem to be even phased from it. He seems to be emotionless, like an assassin should be. This is why, well, Asta kind of ignores both of them and ignores entirely and kind of keeps flying around. This is where he sees a bird flying, a black bird, and of course this black bird is trying to like get up to see what's happening and all that. It's basically Nero, but of course the eagle swooped down and kind of grabbed Nero. Of course the eagle was bigger than Nero, and of course is where Nero wanted her eyes. This is where, well, the eagle flies down, like Nero realized that she's probably going to be eaten, but it's a good chance it might be what's called able to kind of get away after landing down. Of course, the eagle didn't do that. Didn't bring her to her nest, or mostly the eagle's nest. Instead, the eagle swooped, like, he went down very fast, because Asta can also control the movements of the eagle and all that. And of course, when the eagle is going down very fast to the ground, this is when Nero in her eyes. She can't sense any magic control or anything into the eagle. This is where, well, when the eagle lets go, Nero actually smashes to the ground, right now getting out of her bird form, and right now into her human form, but knocked out. Of course, the eagle flies up, and right now just goes all the way up to see where, well, Kira's at. Pretty much, Asta did that for only one reason. Revenge, bitch. Revenge is a fucking sweet taste. But yeah. Asta kind of looks still more for Kira. This is where, well, Asta says, I can't find him. Maybe others have better luck. This is where he gets up after being in a crouch position and kind of just gets up. This is where Asta says, well, it's time to go. This is where, well, one thing happens. Asta says, release. Illusion magic. This is where, well, Asta seems to grow a little bit taller. And of course seems to now became, well, looks to be like 6 feet. This is where Asta says, then let's go and let's have fun in killing these nobles. This is where all of the assassins that were right next to him all nodded and just leaped off. Right now landing on a hay bale and rushing towards some, well, nobles. Asta rushes towards the nobles in high speed, stabbing 2 of them in the hearts with his hidden blades. Right now after doing that, he jumps away from an attack from a knight, and of course rushes toward this knight, grabbing the knight from the head and smashing him into the knee of his own, mostly Asta's. This is where, well, Asta says, pathetic. This is where, well, he pulls out, well, his Reaper sword, and of course he rushes towards the knights and easily cuts it down an instant, being very elegant and gentle, but being very ferocious and fast and ripping them apart. Of course, all these, well, magic knights were taken out. Of course, where Asta sees more magic knights appearing, but this time, these magic knights are actually from a Pacific, like, squad and all that. These are actually from the Purple Orcas. This is where they say, well, I found more. These people are kind of annoying. They hide in the shadows and shouldn't be taken lightly. Everyone be on guard. But when they're looking around, this is where Asta doesn't seem to hide into the shadows. Unlike the other 3 that did, Asta rushes towards these Purple Orcas. This is where one thing that Purple Orcas realize. This person's rushing towards them in high speeds. Now, of course, none of them can react fast enough with his superhuman natural strength and all that. This is where, well, Asta jumped up in the air, cut one in the head, mostly cut his head off, thanks to the Reaper being really fast and being really light, of course, cutting his head off. Then rushing into one of the another Purple Orca, right now showing off his hidden blade and stabbing this man right into his head. Right now stabbing it into the brain, getting his blade out. Then appearing again, right now pulling out one of his muskets by kind of just pulling it out with his left hand. Blasting one in the head and blasting the other one in the head. This is where Asta puts both of his, well, mostly puts his sword back into his left side and puts the, what's it called, mostly flintlock into his, like, right side. This is where, well, the assassins were right now congratulating Asta because they see how powerful Asta is. He is an extremely dangerous person and shouldn't be taken that lightly. Even with no magic, he's someone to be really, really unlikely for you to, well, fight that much in close combat. Asta is one of the most deadly assassins to close combat. And of course, even if you get him into kind of being long range, there's still a way for Asta to kick your ass. Long range, close range, and even mid range is one of the worst things for you to actually fight him against, because he's still so skilled in all of those categories. This is where, well, we go into, well, Asta. Asta is walking around the kingdom now, mostly just going through some hallways and all that. This is where he kind of finds Kira. Kira is right now trying to protect the Clover King. This is where the two assassins, or mostly three assassins, all get on guard behind Asta. But this is where Asta doesn't seem fazed with Kira being in front of him. This is where, well, he kind of like did some motion with his like hands, and he told the assassin to go in while he fights against Kira to kill the Clover King. This is where Kira is right now holding the 5-leaf grimoire. That's where he says, "So, you might be an assassin, I'm guessing. Why you're doing this?" This is where Asta doesn't say anything, but he then says something. "For the revolution fact for all nobles to be dead. You nobles have not treated anyone with respect at all. All commoners and peasants, you basically just treat them like trash. So, in this world, a revolution shall happen, and shall happen great. We will dethrone the king, the Wizard King, and any nobles with power, and kick them out of our way, making sure everyone will be equal in this world. Equality is one of the most great things for everyone to be happy in. There's no such thing as peace without equality. So, I'm doing this for only equality. Kira." This is where, well, Kira says, "I see. So, you must be punished for the injustice you're doing." This is where Asta laughs and says, "Injustice? Really? You're calling me injustice when you threw someone in jail for 2 weeks without letting them explain." That's where, well, Kira says, How do you know about the Devil Kid?" "Oh, you think that the Devil Kid didn't have anyone else than just the Black Wolves? I know the Black Wolves are some people that can't get him to mess that much, especially with a kingdom. You think that I was always alone? I might be alone, but I am an assassin." Also takes off his cloak, showing off his face. "I am an assassin. I am part of the Brotherhood, and I call for this revolution. I wanted to do this without the revolution. Try to see commoners and nobles try to have the same goal, but all you nobles are nothing but the same filthy trash. So, I call for this revolution to happen. And now, since this revolution is happening, you nobles will be killed on sight and dethroned from ever ruling anyone." This is where, well, Kira says, You're supposed to be in jail." "Jail indeed, but I broke out. Now, I'm gonna kick your ass and kill you. Your magic's only to nullify those who have magic. But first, I don't have any single magic. So I'm gonna fuck you up one way or another." Also starts walking slowly towards Kira. Kira says, "You think that's all my magic does? I'll show you what it actually does." This is where he pulls out the, what's it called, justice thing or whatever the hell that is. That unbalance or whatever thing that Kira has or he holds most of the time. He kind of like pushes the thing down and says, "For your behavior, your injustice and all this stuff, you're just a villain and criminal, a devil, aren't you? But for all that, you must be punished. Gravity." This is where he kind of like actually does a gravity pressure around Asta. Asta, he then slows down. This is where Asta then walks forward, right now in anger. This is where, Asta, he says, "Mana zone." Well, not mana zone. Reverse mana zone. Anti-zone. He says. This is where, well, anti-magic explodes around him, and right now black and red light is crackling around him. The grimoire seems to be glowing. This is where, well, Kira wind his eyes and say, "How? You need this anti-magic book to even use the anti-magic. How you You think I'm an idiot? You really are a fool. A fool indeed. The grimoire possesses a devil, yes. But that doesn't mean I don't have just half of the devil with me. Right, Levy? Levy says, kid. Of course not. He's right now, he's like Chimby, whatever, that little form and all that. And of course, it worked. Oh, also says, then let's kill him, Levy. Let's rip him apart and shred him to nothing. Levy says, of course, kid, let's do it. Asta transforms into the anti-magic demon form and rushes towards Kira, right now saying Black Meteorite. Right now, just his sword, the what's it called, light Reaper sword, right now it became into the anti-magic sword, like an anti-magic sword. This is where it's called the Demon Reaper. This is where, well, he didn't say Demon Sword or even Black Mirror. He says Demon 10,000 slashes. This is where, well, Kira had multiple slashes all around. Even the little golden thing was cut down into a million pieces. This is where Kira wanted his eyes. His grimoire was actually sliced apart and right now cut into a million pieces. Also, Kira around his body had multiple slashes. And this is where, well, Asta puts his sword back. And this is where, well, he then pulled out one of his flintlocks and pointed towards Kira's head. Of course, this flintlock transformed with the anti-magic inside it. And right now, I have to say, bang, boom, the, what's it called, flintlock shot an anti-magic bullet into Kira's head, blasting it off. This is where, well, Asta reloads a bullet back into the flintlock, but then puts what's it called, the flintlock into the side of his, well, mostly the right side of his waist, but yeah, or not waist, yeah, near kind of his ribs, but yeah, waist ribs or whatever. This is where, well, Asta then goes down and picks the anti-magic book. This is where Levy actually got his full self by actually transforming back into his full self. Because he had 50 and 50% into, well, the book had 50%. Into Asta, he had 50%. Mostly it's like a split version. They kind of already knew that something shitty like this will happen. But of course, this is where, well, Asta does know about Levy actually being his brother. So of course, Levy kind of goes out the book and says, well, kid. It seems that, well, a bunch of idiots still believe that you and I don't know each other. Exactly, Asta said. This is where Asta walked towards the big-ass doors. And of course, this is where, well, two of the kind of noble ladies or whatever that were with what's called the Clover King were right now on the ground. And of course, this is where, well, they were on the ground thanks to one of the assassins actually being a girl. This is where, well, she actually put them down and of course has two blades over their neck and says, you say anything and I'll cut your heads off. Asta says, you should kill them anyway. They're just nobles. Their presence annoy me. Just kill them now, Aqua. This is where the girl is named Aqua and of course Aqua does. Cuts her both their heads off. This is where the Clover King, what do you want? You want money? Treasure? Anything? Asta, who has no hood over his head. This is where the Clover King wanted his eyes. He did put, well, Asta in jail. And this is where, well, he kind of asked for, what's called the haha guy for help because the haha guy was there. This is where the haha guy tried to help. But this is where multiple, well, the other two assassins are right now keeping an eye on the Clover King. Right now pointed their swords into, well, haha guy. Asta says, kill that guy also. I know he's a commoner, but he's annoying also. This is where haha guy says, wait, no, I can. His head is cut off in an instant. Thanks to one of them. This is where, well, Asta walks to the Clover King saying, oh, do you think I want gold, treasure, or anything? No, I don't want any of that. What I want is your head on a fucking platter, Asta said. His eyes becoming crimson red. This is where Clover King says, fine, since there are no magic knives, and I would just use my power, the, what's it called, anarchy, haha! This is where, well, the anarchy gets cut once, thanks to Asta just pulling out the Demon Dweller and sending anti-magic slash. Ching! This is where the Clover King wanted his eyes and says, you can't do this to me, I am the Clover King, you're just a pet. The Reaper that Asta pulls out very fast, stabbing into, well, the Clover King's neck. Right now, cutting the voice box. Right now, cutting it, and of course, look, Clover King can't talk right now. He's spitting out blood, and of course he can barely even talk. He's like, this is where, well, I was gonna say, what? You said something? Oh, you said that I should put your head on a platter? Why, thank you, sir. That's actually one of the most amazing things that you ever said. Asta said with this evil grin. This is where, well, the Clover King widens his eyes and sees the light of his eyes flash between Asta and him. Right now his head is right now flying up in the air, rolling down, and of course hits the ground. That's where his body is right now gushing blood from the neck that used to be his head at. Asta then grabs the Clover King's head and says, well, who has a platter? This is where, well, Asta then looks to the side of him and sees the, well, platter of food and all them other things. He takes the food, puts it like on napkins and all that, takes the platter, puts the Clover King's head in it, and puts the, well, over the thing of it. This is where, well, Asta says, well, let's go show these fuckers that no longer the Clover King will ever support their power. Because no Clover King will ever exist again. This is where, well, the other assassins nodded, and of course, this is where Asta walks out. Right now, putting his head back in. And of course, then using the bird, well, the eagle, that's right now flying past the, what's it called? Mostly flying past the Clover King's kind of like castle and all that, or mostly the top of it. And this is where Asta managed to have the eye connection with the eagle. Right now being able to control it again. And right now it's just looking around. This is where he sees Yuno basically about to send a giant blast. A giant wind blast towards the assassin leader. This is where Asta widened his eyes. And right now narrowed them in anger and rage. This is where the other assassins are right now crying for the king. Well, not king, mostly the assassin, a leader, to go with them and kind of flee out of the giant wind blast. This is where Yuno says, I will kill you for even daring to step into the kingdom, because I will become the Clover King. I'm not saying not Clover King. He said, I will become the Wizard King. This is where the other magic knights sees the power of how Yuno is sending. This is where no one Homomas are saying, go Yuno! This is where, well, the black balls are kind of narrowing the eyes. But of course, this is where, well, the assassin leader has his hands out and says, I will not let you hurt my people. I will not let you hurt the civilians anymore. This is where multiple civilians can see the assassin leader being as a true figure of power. A true man that would sacrifice himself for them. This is where all of them feel bad, but before they can even move and try to help him. This is where the blast is launched straight towards, well, the assassin leader. This is where he says, goodbye, my daughter, and Asta. This is where before even anything happens, a black flash of nothing but lightning, red lightning and black lightning appears, right now cutting through the, wind blast. This is where, well, the wind blast is right now cut, and of course a black and red lightning slash goes straight towards Yuno, right now cutting him. This is where Yuno goes, this is where everyone stops and freezes. This is where, well, everyone stops and freezes and looks to the sight of what just happened. Everyone, even the assassins, all of them, who are right now kind of lower rank, who would try to actually help their leader, even the high ranking ones, this is where all of them froze and all of them grin right now, seeing the youngest assassin appearing again forward to protect their leader. Of course, every other civilian widened their eyes. And of course, they kind of know about the power of a devil worshipper. That's where, well, Yuno is right now coughing up blood. And saying, what the? But widening his eyes. Once he narrowed his eyes towards the man, no, the person, no, the demon, he thought he managed to lock away. This is where, well, Noel and even Mimosa widened their eyes. Klaus, who was thinking everything was wrong, was actually helping the civilians and even the assassins fight against everyone else. The Golden Dawn really thought that Klaus was a traitor. This is where some actually people from actually squads were actually helping the other civilians and other things to fight against the nobles and all that. Mostly the Green Praying Mantis were actually helping and right now fighting against what they call the, well, other magic knights, because they didn't give a shit. Because Jack was the one that leading up the, what they call, fight. Now, of course, Jack knows about the assassins. He actually met them before. Of course, the Black Bulls didn't know what to do, if they should help the Green Praying Mantis or fuck up the other squads, which some of them actually did. Basically, Luck and Luck and everyone else in the Black Bull actually did the same. They all jumped through. Even what's it called? Ghosh. Of course, Ghosh also jumped in and sent mirror blasts. Of course, Yami, he wasn't there yet. Well, he did manage to get there. And when he sees the person who was standing right there in front of the assassin leader, he widened his eyes. Everyone did wind their eyes. Guess what? Well, Mimosa and Noel widened their eyes. They thought that he was in jail. Guess what? Well, Asta breathes out and in. Well, breathes in and then out, sending frostbite out of his mouth. This is where the assassin leader says, "Ah, hello there. You kind of got here a little late, Asta, Lieutenant." Asta breathes out and says, "Screw you, old man. I got here in time. I saved your ass. You should be so damn proud of me." This is where, well, the old man, the assassin leader, says, "Kuh. And you think my daughter would appreciate someone being so late and actually almost letting their father die? Do you think she would be appreciating that?" That's where Asta says, "Maybe. Besides, she would be mine." He stuck out his tongue at, well, the assassin leader. The assassin leader gets a tick mark and says, "You little shit." This is where, well, Asta smiles with this evil grin because he's right now in demon mode. And this is actually for double union, I should mention. He is right now in double union. This is where, well, he has horns and all that. And this is where, well, he can see Libby kind of like just coming out as like a spirit ghost and all that, being next to Austin saying, "Hello there, old man." This is where, well, the assassin leader says, "Hello there, Libby." This is where, well, Asta says, "Well, it's time for me to take this fucking prince out the fucking picture, shouldn't I?" This is where the assassin leader says, "I guess, unless you wanna, I don't know. I know the Wizard King is right now unable to fight since the elf attack happened, but yeah, you did tell me about that." Asta says, "Exactly. Now I can take out these nobles without having a little problem with Julius." This is where, well, Asta grins this evil grin. This is where Yuno says, "How are you?" Asta says, "How am I out of the prison? Easy. I'm the one to call this revolution. And now since the revolution's here, I'm going to fuck you up, Yuno. You little scummy little shit." This is where, well, Yuno says, "I won't." This is where Asta appears right now, flying towards him in high speeds, grabbing him from the face with what's it called, his demonic arm, grabbing him from the face, and then just flying down, smashing him to the ground, making a crater. This is where Asta then just uses his leg to stomp him down to the ground. Now, this is where everyone wanted one thing. Asta's taller than, well, being 5'1". He is 6. Yes, Asta has actually shown his true form. And this is where, well, the assassin leader says, "Well, everyone, what are you all waiting for? Let's fight them! Attack! For the revolution! Go!" Everyone is now rushing towards, well, what's it called, a magic knight, whatever bullshit that's right in front of them, and everyone's attacking, sending bullets, shooting them, and of course, this is where the magic knights have to dodge. This is where, well, Forgolian actually doesn't know what to do, but this is where Forgolian dodges a fire punch from an angry Mariona. Yes, Mariona's actually fighting back against, what's it called, Forgolian. Forgolian says, "What are you doing, Mariona?" Mariona says, "Sorry about this, Forgolian, but I really don't like the, what's it called, noble system. And of course, since I don't like it, I should help them out in killing the fucking noble system." This is where Forgolian says, "Kuh. God damn it. Where's Leopold?" Oh, Leopold? Well, he's right now, well, with his emotions, either helping out his rival or fighting against his rival. I hope he actually helps us. That'll be good. He shouldn't be under compressed with the emotions of with the being a noble and all that. That's where, well, what's it called? Forgolian says, "And you're just gonna, what, fight us? You know that there's a lot of magic captains. You won't be able to defeat us all, what's it called, Mariana?" This is where Mariana says, "I'll fight you all easily. This is where the other magic captain starts getting ready. But this is where Yami and Jack says, whoever said she was alone, Jack said. Whoever said she was alone. This is where Yami says, yeah. Can't believe the kid actually was an assassin. And this is where Jack says, ooh, I guess he was one of the legends that the assassins like to set a lot. The legend of Prodigy himself. This is where, well, Jack says, let's rip them to shreds, why don't we, Yami? Yami says, I guess you can say that for sure. This is where the other magic knights wind their eyes. Some of them just gets ready. This is where, well, Char kind of like joins the other side and says, oh, I don't actually like the nobles in other status or whatever, so I'm gonna help you guys. This is where she actually gets close to Yami. Yami says, yeah, I'm just helping you. She's smiling. This is where Yami says, okay, sure. This is where, well, every other Magic Knight squad went in their eyes, and of course, this is where they say, damn it. Well, so I start fighting. This is where, well, Fogolian was Kanozo, and everyone else starts attacking the other side. The other squads, well, squad captains, we'll see Jack, Yami and Char, and Mariana fighting against the others. This is where, well, that's happening, and of course, this is where, well, everything is going wild. Of course, this is where Asta is right now flying through the sky, smashing, well, down to the ground, kicking his ass, beating his ass. Right now, not letting even get far away from him. Is seeing that he needs to get away from him, sending multiple blasts towards Asta. Asta pulls out the Demon Dweller and sends multiple slashes that just cuts through all the shit and rushes towards Yuno. Yuno can see that, well, his one magic isn't going to do jack shit. He realized one thing. Asta's actually truly trying to fucking murder him. Asta saying, come here, little prince. I know you wanna die. When you die, then that fucking kingdom of Spain is going to not miss you. Come here. That's where Asta's flying right now, bursting through the, sky. Saying, oh, you can't escape from me. I know you only have 50% control over form, while I have 100%. Asta smiles and appears behind why in his eyes and says, wait, Asta! He then makes the, the sword, the Wind Spirit sword, and tries to cut Asta. This is where Asta sees it. This is where Asta pulls out the Demon Reaper, because yes, that's what he calls it after transforming anti-magic, and cuts through the sword, because he did have the Demon Slayer with his left hand, and in his right hand he just pulls out the Demon Reaper. He cuts through that shit and says, oh no you don't. I see. So speed must be the key. That's where he puts the Demon Slayer back into the Grimoire and pulls out the other sword. This is where he transforms with anti-magic. This is called the Demon, what's it called? Demon Katana, or what do I like to call it? Slicement. Demon Slice. Yeah, Demon Slices. Yeah, you want to call it Demon Slices. This is where, well, I also say, let's have fun, He rushes at, cutting him. Right now, even, trying to dodge the blades, he's not being able to dodge him. They're right now in thin air, and of course, it's being cut. Little bit by little bit by little bit. But of course, Yuno's form is actually going down. Which is confusing, but yeah. But of course, this is where he can't dodge Asta. He's trying to, but Asta just keeps rushing towards him. And of course, even if manages to escape, dodge Asta, or even just try to, he can't. Asta won't let off, and he keeps cutting him. Every time tries to get far away, by trying to get some distance, mostly mid-range, or long range, he tries to even get long range and then starts sending blasts at Asta. Asta puts both of his blades back, pulls out the musket, and shoots out an anti-magic bullet. This is where he hits in the shoulder. Right now, Yuno's unable to use one arm because the anti-magic is stopping any flow of magic to go to that one arm. It's mostly his left arm that got shot. But yeah, Asta says, oh, you can't escape. I won't let you until I fully kill you, little prince. This is where Asta is, saying, damn it. He's trying to get away from Asta, but of course, Asta's not letting up. Asta's really trying to fuck up One way or another, he's either going to try to cripple him, and Yuno's trying to leave, because yeah, Asta got to cripple this motherfucker one way or another, or he's going to try to fully kill But yeah. Asta says, come on, you want to get stabbed, come here. Asta's flying and mostly playing with Yuno. Now, it's been 5 minutes, but the form hasn't transformed. Yuno's form has deformed, and this is where he's like shocked. Do you even see Asta right now still flying in this like double union? Asta has trained in double union. How he unlocked it the first time is, well, being in the Creed. We go into a flashback of when Asta was in the Creed. Asta met the Creed when he was actually around 7 to 8 years old. When he met the Creed, he actually wanted to show that he wants to become stronger. He wanted to become stronger and, of course, try to, like, fight against fight back against, well, what's it called, like, people that tried to bully him all the time in what's called Hodge Village, because he had no magic. Of course, after that, Asta met the Creed, and of course, in like a couple of years of him just training the Creed, like he trained there for like, well, he trained there in like 6 years, He was 14 at the time, but he did it all in secrecy. So every time he like shows up, trains back into the force, mostly going back into the Creed and training for like a couple more hours, and yeah, until it gets dark, because no one really cared in what he actually did. Pretty much are worried mostly about Yuno, but yeah, Asta trained for 6 years. Even though he was 8, he still learned pretty damn fast and became one of the high-ranking assassins. Meaning he was actually the second in command of the assassins, with the older, well, first man. Of course, Asta met a girl who had, well, white and black hair. Of course, this girl kind of like always talked to Asta. She wasn't older than Asta or younger than Asta. She was actually the same age as Asta, being 14 at this time. Of course, she would have been like the, well, youngest assassin to actually ever be, but Asta proved her to be wrong, and of course, Asta was the one to do it. Become one of the youngest, and becoming one of the strongest at record time, being only 14. Of course, the older man asked Asta if he wanted to do this revolution, because the older man only wanted to do it if Asta wanted to. But of course, Asta kind of said when he turned 15 that he's going to go get the grimoire and all them other things. So of course, Asta did get the grimoire, but when he got the grimoire, mostly the 5-leaf clover, he didn't really show Renji anything about assassins. Instead, he did get a 5-leaf grimoire because he was about to like show his assassin techniques towards Renji. But of course, instead of that, the grimoire shows up. Asta he looked like he didn't train much, mostly training the physical when Nero was watching him, but mostly he was talking to the devil inside it, named, well, Libby. Of course, they managed to became good friends, and then brothers, and realized they were actually brothers from the first place, after finding out their past between Ichina. Of course, is where, well, they realized they can definitely do the double union, because they feel a connection. Of course, they managed to train every time in double union, because they had no magic of that form. No one was ever to sense it, except for Yami, but Yami seems to care less. He was just thinking the kid was getting stronger somehow. But yeah, of course, where, well, when it came to, what's it called, the fight between the, like, elves and all that, Asta still had 50%. The reason why he had 50% is for the fact he wanted to hide the double uniform. He had it, but he was hiding it. Of course, this is where, well, he fought against that one devil. Of course, he was showing so his muscles getting like heavy and all that, and Nero had to seal the, what's it called, the pain and all that. But instead, he didn't feel that much pain, but Nero still did it because well, she didn't know anything about Asta's double union and the fact that he trained in that form pretty damn easily. So we go fast forward now, and now we're here. Asta is able to take this form on for 3 hours. Yes, Asta has been improving this form for so much, and now able to show his assassin techniques and assassin weapons in this form. He loving it every single hour or every single minute. This is where he's shooting Yuno, stopping him from trying to escape. This is where Mimosa and Noelle appear. Right now, Noelle's in her water Valkyrie armor, and of course, Mimosa in her princess form. Right now, trying to help with using her healing magic. One thing happens, healing magic doesn't actually work on the bullet wounds that has the anti-magic. Asta says, "So you're gonna try to protect the prince, Noelle? That's interesting. Why is that?" Noelle says, "Because He's a prince, you Asta. Besides, you didn't know anything about it. So, I'm just here to protect him because, well, we need him to get back the... This is where she's mostly bullshitting, and this is where Asta just says, shut up, just say you like him more than I do. This is where, no one else says, how do you know about that? You think I'm an idiot? I've seen you how many times you look at him. Ever since the Royal Magic Night exam happened, I thought you liked him more, even Mimosa, but you guys tried to, like, keep your feelings away and tried to use me as a scapegoat. Yeah, I'm not stupid. You're annoying anyway, Noelle. I really don't like you. Her neither, Mimosa. So, you girls can really go fucking die. I don't care. Even if you're more descendants of the first Wizard King, I don't really give a shit. Because I don't like you two. I like someone else. And she is... I actually don't know where she's at. This is where, well, a light and dark slash almost hit, well, was called Mimosa and, well, this is where, they dodge, and this is where they say, what just happened? This is where, well, someone with, well, angel wings, but also a fallen angel wing actually appears. Right now, flying next to, well, Asta. This is where this person has a halo that has black and white, but of course seems to have an assassin hood around her. This is where, well, Asta says, he's like, holy shit. Actually, wait, do I know you? This is where the girl kind of shows her face and says, Jesus Christ, did you forget about me, Asta? It's been a while, but didn't expect you to forget about me, you asshole. I should have known. Her name is Shirokuro, and of course this is where, well, she says, hey Asta. This is where, well, Asta says, well, are you gonna dress like that for only me? This is where Shirokuro says, oh, shut up, pervert. This is where Asta says, that hurts me. Oh, whatever. Besides, as a cop, I see you're having a little bit of problems with some idiotic girls who probably betrayed your trust. Yeah, they did. So, can I kill them? Sure, why not? This is where, well, she says, good, because I'm gonna blast them to hell. And maybe even use the light spears or darkness spears to kill them. Asta says, do whatever. I'm gonna kill the prince. Good luck, she says, by kind of just winking at him, kissing him goodbye and all that. That's where she right now just transforms the light and then appears right in front of both Mimosa and Noelle, and using darkness to make a darkness ball around them and then bring them down to the ground, smashing them down there. This is where, well, tries to attack, but this is where Asta appears right now, kicking him right in the face. This is where, wide his eyes and tries to fight back, but he can't. But this is actually where I'm going to leave it off for What If Asta Was an Assassin Part 1. But yeah, because, yeah, this is only a part and not a movie. So bye. Have a nice potato day, potato night, potato soup, potato, and good night. Bye.